Now let me tell you a story. It's a story about the great, silent land of the North, a place of biting frost and endless white. In this world, life is a constant struggle, a dance between survival and the unforgiving cold. And in this vast, lonely wilderness, a creature was born unlike any other. He was a mix of two worlds, part wolf and part dog, with the spirit of the wild running deep in his veins. His name was White Fang. He was the only one of his litter to survive the harshness of that first winter, a tiny gray cub left to face a world that did not offer much in the way of kindness or comfort. He was a lone spark of life in a frozen land. His mother, Kichi, was half wolf, half dog herself, and his father was a full-blooded wolf. From his earliest days, he learned the hard lessons of the wild. He watched, he learned, and he grew, his senses sharpening with every passing day. The wild has its own set of rules, a harsh and simple code known as the law of the pack. For a young wolf cub like White Fang, this was the most important lesson of all. Within his own kind, he was seen as different, an outsider. His gray coat set him apart from the other pups. They sensed his wilder nature, the untamed spirit from his wolf father. This difference made him a target. He was constantly challenged for his place, for every scrap of food, for every bit of respect. He learned to fight with a ferocity that surprised even himself. Quicker, smarter, more relentless. He had to be. Every fight taught survival. Anticipate an opponent, strike with precision, strike with power. He became a solitary figure, respected, feared, but never accepted. Then she was sold away, leaving him utterly alone. Abandonment hardened him. It snuffed the last puppy flicker, so he embraced the pack law. Kill or be killed. Dominate or be dominated. White Fang's life took another turn when he came fully into the world of men. His first master, a Native American named Gray Beaver, was not deliberately cruel, but stern and practical. He saw White Fang not as a companion, but as a tool, a possession. He ruled with a firm hand and a heavy club. It was from him that White Fang learned another harsh law, the law of man's power. He learned that the gods, as he perceived these men to be, were all powerful. He learned the feel of the harness, the weight of the sled, and the sting of the whip. Life became a routine of hard labor, pulling heavy loads across the frozen tundra. He did his work well, his strength and stamina setting him apart from the other sled dogs. But there was no praise, no gentle hand, only the expectation of obedience. He obeyed Gray Beaver's commands not out of loyalty, but out of a deep-seated fear of the club. He saw the man as a source of food and pain, a powerful deity whose moods were unpredictable and justice swift and terrible. During a trip to Fort Yukon, a bustling gold rush town, White Fang's world was thrown into chaos once more. Gray Beaver, falling on hard times, began to trade whiskey. It was here that White Fang encountered a different kind of man, a man whose cruelty was not born of practicality. For a few bottles of whiskey, Gray Beaver sold his loyal sled dog, casting White Fang into the darkest chapter of his life. The man who bought White Fang was known as Beauty Smith, a name that could not have been more ironic. He was a hideous, cowardly man with a soul as twisted as his face. He saw in White Fang not a living creature, but a money-making machine, a champion for the brutal dog-fighting pits. He used starvation, beatings, and psychological torment to break White Fang's spirit and amplify his rage. Under Beauty Smith's ownership, White Fang became the fighting wolf. He was pitted against any and all challengers, dogs, wolves, even a lynx. The fighting ring became his entire world, a small, blood-soaked arena where he was forced to kill again and again. His natural ferocity, honed by his life in the wild and the pack, was now twisted into something monstrous. He fought not for survival in the natural sense, but for the entertainment of cheering, jeering men. Every victory only deepened the darkness within him, turning his heart to stone. He became a creature of pure hate, a living weapon fueled by pain and rage. He never lost. His combination of wolf cunning and dog tenacity made him an unstoppable force. Chained and isolated between fights, he brooded in a state of perpetual fury. The world had shown him nothing but cruelty, from the harshness of the wild to the brutality of man. Beauty Smith had succeeded in making him the perfect killer, but in doing so, he had nearly destroyed the last vestiges of the creature White Fang might have been. His spirit was on the verge of being extinguished forever. Just when all hope seemed lost, a new kind of man entered White Fang's life. His name was Weedon Scott, a gentle and compassionate mining expert from the south who saw past the snarling, hate-filled beast and glimpsed the noble, tormented spirit within. During a brutal fight against a bulldog that nearly killed White Fang, Scott intervened. He could not stand to watch the senseless cruelty any longer. He bought White Fang from the protesting beautysmith, not to exploit him, but to save him. For the first time, White Fang was in the hands of a man who offered not a club, but a gentle voice. Scott was patient. He sat near the chained wolf dog for hours, day after day, simply letting him get used to a human presence that wasn't a source of pain. The turning point came when Scott reached out and placed a gentle hand on White Fang's head. White Fang was stunned. This gentle touch was a revelation. It cracked the icy wall around his heart. Weedon Scott took White Fang to his family home in California. Sunshine, green grass, warmth. Here, White Fang completed his transformation. He learned the laws of civilization, the rules of a loving home. He became a devoted protector of Scott and his family, using his strength not to kill, but to defend. The wild spirit remained, tempered by love, tempered by loyalty. The lone wolf cub's journey from the frozen north was complete. He had traveled through the darkest parts of the world and the human soul, but in the end, he found his way home. He had found his gentle master. Please click the like and subscribe buttons. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you.